Alright, we're going to continue in Chapter 3 on variables for numbers from A Smarter Way to Learn JavaScript by Mark Myers. Remember, this is just a simpler and easier way to learn JavaScript coding without all the stress and the anxiety, and it's just a little bit more relaxing. So let's just dive into it. Strings are not the only things you are allowed to assign to variables. You can also assign them to numbers. So, for example, var weight equals 150. So the variable weight equals 150. You can also ask JavaScript to add numbers as well. So for example, weight plus 25. So JavaScript will remember that the variable weight equals 150. So 150 plus 25 ends up with the sum of 175. Another thing to remember are numbers are not enclosed in quotes. This way JavaScript knows it's a number and not a string. Otherwise, it won't be able to perform math if it is a string. Another thing is JavaScript also knows that the number is not a variable either, since variable names can't start with a number. You can have numbers in your variable name, but you can't have it start with a number, which we'll go into that a little bit more in detail. Alright, so if a number is enclosed with quotes, like I just said earlier, it is a string, and JavaScript will not be able to perform math on it because it's just going to think it's a word that you're trying to say, and it's not going to think it's a number that you're trying to perform math on. So here's an example of how you can add numbers in your codes. So var original num equals 23. So original num equals 23. Var new num equals original num plus 7. So the first statement assigns the variable name original num to the number 23. And then the second statement declares a new variable, new num. So new num equals 23 plus 7, which equals 30. Alright, JavaScript cannot perform math in a statement that combines a number as a string and a number without quotes. So for example, you'll not get a result with an expression like var original num equals 23 with quotes and original num equals original num plus 7. It's just not going to see it as a number, and it's not going to perform any math. This is just because JavaScript will interpret the string as a word and not a number, kind of like I said earlier. It doesn't think it's a number. So just remember not to put quotes around your numbers, or else it'll get very confusing. You can use numbers in variable names as long as it is not at the beginning of the word. So for example, var number that is first equals 4 is fine. Just don't do var first number equals 4, just because it's kind of like accidentally putting a number in a string form. It's gonna think that it's a word, and it's not gonna work properly. Well, putting a number in a variable before using a letter is gonna confuse it just as much. So just remember not to do that. Alright, you can also place numbers or variables that represent numbers in alert statements. So for example, alert 211 var num equals 211. So you could use your variable num and put it in that alert statement, and it'll give you the value of 211. And you can also perform math on your variable in an alert statement, and it will pop up with your answer. So like 2 plus 2, and then say num equals 2 plus 2, and then you put an alert statement up, it'll say that it equals 4. So this is able to be done because JavaScript turns the number or variable into a string and displays the message. So that's just a little bit on variables for numbers. Let's just follow this link for the exercise in Chapter 3. Work on the exercises and see how you guys do, and we'll go over those answers in just a bit. Alright, now that you guys have had time to work on the exercises, we're going to go over the answers and see how you guys did. Alright. You can assign a string to a variable. You can also assign a number, which for some reason my computer already knows that for me. Alright, if a number is enclosed in quotes, it's a string. What kind of operation can be done on a number variable that in one particular case can't be done on a string variable? Well, that's easy. Math. what is the value of order total? So var merch total equals 100, var shipping charge equals 10, var order total equals merch total plus shipping charge. So you're going to take merch total plus shipping charge, really is what you're looking for. So the answer is going to be 110. All right, we got that right. All right, these are easy. All you got to do is go var nice big number equals 1,000. We'll check it to see if we got it right, and we did. All right, in a single statement, declare the variable number as string and assign the number 3 to it as a string. So remember, we're not performing math on this one. We are giving it a string. So we got to go var number as string equals quote 3 quote. All right. Assign to the variable case qty, which has been declared, to the value of 144. So this variable has already been declared, so you got to go case qty equals 144. Remember, it didn't say to make it a string or anything, it just said value of 144. So, all right, in a single statement, declare a variable and assign a number to it. Easy enough. Var num equals 4. Var num equals 4. So you declared your variable and you assigned a number to it. Got that correct? In a single statement, declare a variable and assign it to the sum of 2 other variables. All right, so let's do this. It said to apply the sum of 2 other variables to your variable, so remember not to put numbers. So you're going to say var sum, you're declaring your variable, and adding 2 variables together, profit plus cost, for example. You can use whatever words you want, just as long as you're adding variables. All right, rewrite this statement so the variable can be used in a math operation. Well, that's easy enough. We don't want the quotations around that 9 because that makes it a string. It can't do math. So we got to go var num equals 9. All right, assign the sum of 2 numbers to a variable which hasn't been declared beforehand. All right, so this is easy. We're just declaring a variable and adding the sum of 2 numbers instead of variables. So var sum, declaring your variable, and adding 2 numbers together. 2 plus 4, for example. All right, in one statement, declare a variable, and then in a second statement, assign it to the sum of 2 numbers. All right, so the first statement, you're just declaring your variable. You're ending it with that semicolon. So you're going to go var sum, semicolon. The second one, you already declared your variable, so all you got to say is sum equals 2 plus 4. All right, now this is timed. It's all going to be about the same thing, kind of like what we did just earlier. So it's just going to be a little faster pace. So in a single statement, declare a variable and assign a number to it. We already did this. So var num equals 4. And we got it right. In a single statement, declare a variable and assign it to the sum of 2 other variables. Var sum equals profit plus cost. I sometimes like to see how fast I can do my typing. I did it in 8 seconds and I had 25 seconds. That's pretty impressive. All right. Rewrite this statement so the variable can be used in a math operation. We did this earlier. Super easy. Just take those quotes off. All right. Assign the sum of 2 numbers to a variable which hasn't been declared beforehand. All right. So you need to declare a variable and assign it to the sum of 2 numbers. Assign the sum of 2 numbers to a variable. All right, ready? Var sum equals 2 plus 4. did that earlier, so it's going to be easy. Right, in one statement, declare a variable, in a second statement, assign it to the sum of two numbers. All right, we just did this like a few minutes ago. We should get this. Var sum equals, oh wait, don't do var sum equals because the variable has already been declared. So we got to go sum equals 2 plus 4. All right, in the first statement, declare a variable and assign it a number. In the second statement, change the value of the variable by adding it together with a number. All right, so it's going to go something like this, and we only have 35 seconds, so it's going to go var num equals a number, and then num equals num plus 8. See if we got it. All right, so you're declaring your variable and you're giving it a number. Then you're taking your variable and adding it to another number. Right, now we are going to declare a variable, assign it a number, and then code an alert, specifying the variable and not the number as a message. So we're going to go var num equals 4. Then we're going to go alert, and then just say the variable name, which will give us 4. You got it right. All right, declare a variable and assign it a number. So let's do that first. Var num equals 4. Double the variable's value by adding the variable to itself. All right, so how do we do that? We go num equals num plus 4, and then you alert, because it's asking you to display an alert statement, and then you're just going to say num, run it, and that should give you 8. All right, we got that right as well. Now that we've finished up with that last exercise, we are good for chapter 3. I hope to see you guys next for chapter 4. Thank you.